carrots, green beans, cucumber, hard-boiled eggs, and kale. In a video released by Florida's Brevard Zoo, Lorenzo was seen munching on various vegetables in the arms of zoo curator Lauren Hinson, who hand-raised the little guy.
And finally, how cute is this? Two golden retrievers in Texas tied the knot, and it was adorable. Peaches and Duke worked together as therapy dogs in a hospital. They reportedly like to snuggle and sneak kisses here and there. One of the hospital's pastors performed the ceremony. There was even a reception. Congratulations, you two. You make the perfect couple.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
That is quite adorable.
Right now at 5, another Madison teacher is on leave after using a racial slur. We'll tell you what we know about the investigation.
Hundreds of sidewalks around Madison are under construction. Will the projects be done by winter? We'll have an update on the projects.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. We are following some breaking news from Edgerton right now, where officials are continuing the search for a missing boy.
Rock County Dispatch tells us the boy ran into the woods near Edgerton Middle School this afternoon. They say there are several units, including the Edgerton Police Department and Fire Department, as well as a dog and a drone that are looking for the boy. Dispatch says he was spotted on 2 different occasions, but we have not yet made contact with him. We have a crew headed to the scene right now, and we'll continue to keep you updated on this developing story on Channel3000.com and in later newscasts.
Another staff member at a Madison school is on leave after allegedly using a racial slur with a student.
School district officials confirm a substitute teacher at Hamilton Middle School is being investigated for the incident. Our Jamie Perez joins us now with what we know about this. Jamie?
Well, the principal sent out a letter to parents yesterday letting them know about it, and according to information reported by Madison 365, the student's mom said the incident started on a school bus when students were talking about the Marlon Anderson case. Anderson was fired from West High for repeating the N-word to a student who was using the word against him. The student went to school to confide in teachers and tell them what she was uncomfortable with the other students talking about it, and one teacher that she told this to said the N-word when asking if that was what the student was upset about. The student's mom told Madison 365 that a similar situation happened to her daughter about a year ago. In the letter sent out to parents at Hamilton Middle School, Principal John Burkholder said, "Our top priority has been to support the student involved and take the appropriate next steps. While I cannot get into the details, I want to emphasize that racial slurs have no place in our schools." I did reach out to the school district for comment, but they did not provide us with any. We also reached out to the students' parents for comment. We have not heard back yet.
Jamie, thanks.
Sure.
An investigation ongoing after officers were called to Madison East High School after several fights broke out in the cafeteria during lunch. Madison police say 10 officers responded to the school. This was yesterday. They say an initial fight involving 3 students sparked a couple other confrontations. The parents of one student involved were also part of the conflict. Officers say one student involved suffered a medical emergency and was taken to the hospital as a precaution. No arrests have been made. The school resource officer is reviewing surveillance video and speaking to witnesses. And an investigation into a fight at Verona High School now underway. Staff and security broke up a fight between 4 students this morning. According to a statement the district sent to families, 4 to 6 other students had engaged verbally. No injuries were reported. The students who were involved were sent home. An investigation is ongoing. The school said the students, quote, will receive the appropriate consequences.
Not guilty pleas have been entered on behalf of Richland Center's police chief, who is charged with sexual assault and theft. A judge set a $5,000 signature bond for Lucas Clements today. He faces 3 fourth-degree sexual assault charges and theft. A criminal complaint states Clements groped a female bartender multiple times at the unnamed bar last June. Clements is on paid administrative leave.
And a prison guard also on leave after being accused of using excessive force on an inmate. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office said staff at the Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage contacted the Sheriff's Office to report a possible use of force incident that happened inside the prison. Deputies say 31-year-old Andrew Jesuit of Baraboo was arrested and is facing 1 count of misconduct in public office by acting with excess authority. He's in jail awaiting his initial appearance.
Well, it was a calmer day today. Happy November, by the way, but still colder than normal. And there might be a little more snow falling tonight. Gary Canalti is on the weather patio to look ahead to the weekend forecast. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I've got a few flurries and actually a little drizzle mixed in as well, as temperatures are above freezing, so nothing that'll stick to the ground. But this is just with a reinforcing shot of cold air to keep our temperatures cold for the weekend. Let's take a look at visible cloud track. Plenty of clouds today, just a few peaks of sun from time to time. And you can see on high-resolution Doppler radar some very light snow showers mixed in with a little bit of rain, but with temperatures above freezing right now here in Madison, we're at 38 degrees, for example. Nothing should stick to the ground. Otherwise, by tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the upper 20s. We'll still see a few flurries overnight into early tomorrow morning. Then we'll see some sunshine tomorrow afternoon as high temperatures get back up into the upper 30s. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that unfortunately includes more cold weather as we head through next week.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Hundreds of sidewalk openings in neighborhoods are left untouched after this cold weather arrived early.
Residents are concerned that the project will remain unfinished all winter. Our Gabriella Becerra is live on the west side of Madison where the project is taking place. Gabby?
Openings like this one are scattered throughout neighborhoods, some right in front of homes. And while they're blocked by orange traffic cones, some residents are still concerned for safety while waiting for the project to be completed.
It goes right past our house.
Madison resident Jenny Murphy lives next to a pathway currently torn up for repairs.
It is a very popular pathway, being that the bus stop is across the street over here. So people come down this walkway and go to the bus stop over there. And
Murphy says she is concerned there will be openings in the sidewalk all winter.
you know, now that it's snowed, I don't know what we're going to have to deal with, because if it doesn't melt, I mean, it could be anything. It could be slips and falls all winter long, you know, and people getting injured. I mean, that's not safe.
These openings are a part of Madison's sidewalk repair program that cycles through districts to make improvements.
It is putting pressure on all of our crews right now.
The city of Madison says the repairs can't be completed until the temperature rises above 32 degrees when cement can be poured.
The cement would not join, it would not be as strong, and it would not last as long.
So until then, it's all about waiting for the weather to warm up.
General plan for all work that still needs to be done is wait for that weather to rise above 32, and once it does, we're ready to work and finish it up for the year.
The city of Madison says if the weather remains too cold and unpredictable, they'll have to go in there and fill it with a temporary solution until they can get back out here in the spring and fill it with concrete. But they're hoping that the weather will warm up before then.
Gabriella Becerra live on the west side. Gabby, thank you.
Even though there was snow in Madison this week, the City of Madison Streets Division reminding people they are still picking up your leaves. They say if it is above freezing, they will be collecting leaves. If you're wondering when they will be coming to your specific neighborhood, you can visit the City of Madison website.
If you click on the pickup schedule map, it'll show you an entire map of the city of Madison. If your neighborhood is shaded green for pickup pending, that means you should get your leaves out to the curb for us to pick up, because crews are going to be around there pretty soon. Okay. That'll minimize the amount of time they're sitting out there waiting for collection.
And he's reminding residents not to put their leaves in the street. Instead, put them on the terrace. He says they plan on collecting leaves through Thanksgiving if the weather allows. For
the first time, the historic Garver feed mill on the city's east side is fully open to the public. There's 11 tenants in the renovated space full-time. They range from spas to coffee shops. And today, those in the nearby community were given an exclusive first look at what to expect, with Governor Tony Evers saying this was not just a game changer for Madison, but for the whole county. One tenant we talked to today said they feel like they're part of something bigger.
It's just a part of a community of people who share the same drive, the same ethics, the same wanting to create something special here in Madison. And so we're all part of it together. We're all riding the roller coaster ride together, and we are collaborating in many different ways.
And of course, there is a lot of food at the newly renovated building, including ice cream and Ian's Pizza.
Today marks the deadline of the public comment period for the F-35s coming to Madison. Last month, an environmental impact statement published by the Air Force indicated noise pollution could be significant. It could impact roughly 1,000 East Side homes near the airport as they transition from the F-16 to the F-35. Congressman Mark Pocan said in a taping of For the Record in our News 3 Now studios today, the Air Force should pay for soundproofing any homes affected.
Air Force says that Air Force funds can't go towards a non-Air Force purpose, but I think if you've caused a problem for homeowners, we have to make sure people are taken care of.
You can see more of Congressman Pocan's interview on For the Record Sunday morning at 10:30 on News 3 Now. And Madison Mayor Sachi Rhodes-Conway asking the Pentagon to reconsider Truax Field as a site for the F-35 fighter jets. In a 14-page statement to the Pentagon, Rhodes-Conway says she is concerned about those noise issues, the impact on public housing investments, and hazardous materials associated with the project. At the end of the letter, Rhodes-Conway says, quote, "It will not be possible for me to support the selection of Madison for this bed down."
The wrestling season kicked off for the Badgers today. The number 3 ranked Badgers defeated San Diego State and Army this afternoon in San Diego. A number of Badgers, including the number 1 ranked pound-for-pound wrestler in the nation, Seth Gross, made their debuts today. The 2-0 Badgers will take on Navy tonight.
Badger basketball making its season debut tonight at the Kohl Center, taking on UW Lacrosse. This is an exhibition game. The team will be wearing warm-up shirts that say "Do more, be more, for more," and badges that say "For more." That honors Coach Howard Moore's family and his daughter Jaden and his wife Jen, who were killed in a car crash this past summer. He continues to recover from his injuries. The Badgers' first regular season game will be against 20th-ranked St. Mary's. That's on Tuesday. We'll have coverage from the game tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Also at 10, a big night in high school football. We'll have highlights from teams from all over the area in the second round of the football playoffs. Kevin Lewis and Melissa Kim will have highlights from Memorial, Wanakee, Blackhawk, Lake Mills, and many more teams. Again, that's tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Well, we saw all that snowfall, the trick-or-treaters, but a Madison radio station is moving quickly forward in the holiday season. Mix 105.1 announcing on its website and through social media that it has made the change to play Christmas music all the time. Ready or not, as of Halloween on Twitter, Mix 105.1 said it is making the switch, quote, because the snow has got us in the Christmas spirit. Last year, the station made that switch on November 15th. Some people are ready, other people are like,
ready.
It's a little early, but good for them. They do what they want. Still to come on News 3 Now at 5, another candidate calls it quits in the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. This as other top candidates turn their focus to the state of Iowa. That story just ahead.
And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, a new state law aims to get patients better access to the prescriptions they need. What the change means for you, coming up at 6.
Well, a strong close of the week for the markets. The Dow up more than 301 points. The Nasdaq climbs 94. The S&P jumps almost 30. And we'll be right back. All right, we do have an update to the story we brought you at the beginning of the newscast. Rock County Dispatch says that a missing boy in Edgerton has now been located. Officials say he ran into the woods near the middle school this afternoon. Dispatch has not said anything about his condition. We will have a live update on this story tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Also breaking late this afternoon on the campaign trail, Texas Democrat Beto O'Rourke has announced he is dropping his 2020 presidential bid.
O'Rourke tweeted just about an hour ago that his campaign has always been about seeing clearly, speaking honestly, and acting decisively. And then he said he was dropping out of the race. O'Rourke had been struggling to break through a crowded Democratic field. We'll have more on this story coming up on the CBS Evening News immediately following this broadcast. Meanwhile, the rest of the candidates are in Des Moines, Iowa for tonight's Liberty and Justice celebration. It is a key event in the lead up to the Iowa caucuses. A newly released New York Times Siena College poll shows Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren leading a tight race in the state, followed by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Former Vice President Joe Biden fell to 4th place in this poll. 13 Democratic candidates will try to win over voters tonight. There is just 3 months to go before the first primary season contest.
Testimony resumes next week in the impeachment inquiry. President Trump pushing back against the rules for upcoming impeachment hearings in the House. He tweeted, quote, "The public is watching and seeing for themselves how unfair this process is." Democrats say the rules give President Trump more opportunities to be a part of the process than the last 2 presidents to face impeachment. But Republicans say it's unfair because Democrats can remove some of those rights if they so choose.
In both Clinton and the Nixon impeachments, the minority did not have the right to call witnesses on their own unilaterally.
Give us an opportunity to call witnesses, but if the chair says that they don't like the witnesses don't come forward.
And President Trump says he may read the call summary of his conversation with Ukraine's president on live television. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been asked to testify about the president's Ukraine policies next week.
Crews in Ventura County, California, in Southern California, are battling yet another wildfire, this one forcing more than 7,000 people to evacuate. The so-called Maria fire is just one of many to erupt across the state during a 3-week period of dangerous fire conditions. The fire forced thousands to evacuate, but some homeowners chose to stay and protect their property.
Just within the last 10 minutes or so, got close enough to where we could actually hear it, hear the crackling and the flames and everything. So it's getting a little bit closer, getting a little bit more nervous, but still going to stick it out and see what happens.
Firefighters say in addition to keeping those flames from homes, they're working to keep the flames from power lines and avocado and citrus crops. In Northern California, where firefighters have made progress battling the massive fire in Sonoma County, evacuees have started returning home.
We had all that snow on the ground yesterday, and we've got more precipitation out there, hopefully not messing with everybody's weekend plans. Gary?
Just some very light precipitation right now, and a few of those flurries could continue overnight into tomorrow morning. Of course, we have the farmers market tomorrow morning, and I think much of the flurries will be over with, but look at the temperatures, only getting up into the middle 30s by the time the farmers market is over by late in the morning. And looking ahead for this month of November, well, average high temperature starts out at 52 degrees. It gets down to 36 by the end of the month, and that's about where we are right now. So it's like we've kind of moved the calendar ahead a full month. It's been as warm as 76 back in 1915 and as cold as 14 below zero on the 28th in 1887. For the month, we normally have 3.6 inches of snow. That means very little because we've picked up already 8.1 inches in the month of October. And looking at the next 10 days, average high temperature drops from 52 to 48, and we're still not going to be close to that by the end of the 10-day period. High temperatures only in the 30s, a couple of days up into the lower 40s, and that's mainly because of the snow on the ground. There's still a fair amount of snow cover through much of south central and southeastern Wisconsin. Northern and western portions of the state were actually missed by this snowstorm that we had yesterday. But you can see on Doppler track just some very light flurries and a little bit of rain mixed in. For the most part, it's just flurries and some drizzle. And then out to the west, you can see the next batch of precipitation. This will be the flurries that we see later on tonight into tomorrow morning, but we should clear out a little bit by tomorrow afternoon after that. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Looks like some flurries happening there. The WISC Skycam also showing some flurries here on the west side side of Madison, and the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison showing mostly cloudy skies. As we check out the almanac for today, another cold day across southern Wisconsin. High temperature better than yesterday at 39, so we did start to melt a little bit of the snow, but we started out at 17. It was only 2 degrees above the record low of 15 set back in 1873. And right now we're at 38 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour, so the wind chill a little more tolerable at 33 degrees. Looking across the country, notice the northwesterly wind flow through much of the central part of the country. That just continues to pour the cold air from Canada right down into the nation's midsection, and we're right on the front edges of it. And a second reinforcing shot of cold air coming with these sprinkles and flurries that are moving on through, and then a trough of low pressure just keeping the cold air coming right behind it. Temperatures right now generally in the upper 30s here, the 40s and 50s. You got to get down into southern Missouri and southern portions of Kansas before you see temperatures in the 50s. And on future track, you can see how the clouds continue into tomorrow, but then start to break up tomorrow afternoon. By Sunday, the next weather system will be in here with the possibility for some light rain and snow showers in the afternoon. 28 for the overnight low temperature, a rain or snow shower chance this evening, and some flurries overnight. And then for tomorrow, look for a high temperature of about 38 degrees. Flurries will end in the morning. We'll probably see some more sunshine later in the afternoon. On future track, notice the rain and snow showers moving out, but a few flurries moving in overnight. Those will linger into tomorrow morning. Then skies turn partly sunny late in the day with high temperatures in the upper 30s. Tomorrow night, we'll turn partly cloudy with low temperatures in the mid-20s. And Sunday, the clouds come back in and we could see a rain or snow shower pop up in the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the lower 40s. 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures staying on the cold side. In fact, 42 for the high on Monday with a chance of rain showers, maybe mixed with a little snow early in the day, and then we go back into the 30s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Thursday and Friday, high temperatures will probably stay in the upper 20s before we start to see a bit of a warm-up as we head into the following weekend, but that's followed by another shot of cold air for the beginning of the following week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, there's the belt line at Park Street, and it's a Friday. You can tell by the stop-and-go traffic on the eastbound belt line. The westbound belt line moving a little more steadily. Right now, we have delays on the eastbound belt line from around Monona Drive to about Seminole Highway. Westbound, we're seeing some delays over toward Fish Hatchery Road and back toward Park Street and John Nolan Drive. Looks like might have had an accident just reported near Whitney Way and the Beltline. Right now, it's 26 minutes on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to I-3990, 17 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading down to Janesville, it's 27 minutes from the Beltline down to Janesville on I-3990, 22 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and it's 22 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, why some leagues around the country are requiring helmets for flag football. That after a short break. Flag football is becoming one of the fastest growing youth sports in the country.
A report from the Sports and Fitness Industry Association shows over 6.5 million people play. Many consider it a safer alternative to tackle football. But as Nicole Killian reports, some leagues are now requiring kids to wear helmets.
I don't really remember a lot.
8-year-old Gabriel Kraut doesn't recall much about this day, but his mom does.
Gabriel will be okay.
She watched as he was rushed by helicopter to the hospital with a concussion after colliding head-on with a teammate during a flag football game.
I grabbed him by the face and I held him close and I said, "Can you hear me?" And his eyes rolled back and he started to seize and pass out.
She had that look of fear, and I didn't have the answers to give her.
The incident prompted League Commissioner Reggie Barksdale to make a change. For the first time this season, he's mandating helmets for all players.
The first couple of weeks was rough, but now everybody knows that they need their helmet.
The helmets these players are using are among several that were tested by Virginia Tech, which released its first ever safety ratings for flag football headgear this year.
We visited the school's helmet lab.
Simulating head-to-head contact.
It ranks models to evaluate which reduce concussion risk, with 5 stars being the best.
Concussions, when that head-to-head impact happens, head accelerations are going to occur. But if we can reduce those by 70% or more, then that's kind of elicits the 5-star rating.
It's having an impact on the field.
We've had a couple of collisions, but each kid bounces back up after each go. So after I see that, I feel good about my decision.
Gabriel wishes he had a helmet last year.
It would have just probably been a little cut, and I could have just put a Band-Aid on it and kept playing.
But he and his mom are glad these teams have scored them now. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Waldorf, Maryland.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, the impeachment drama intensifies as televised hearings loom. Transcripts from closed-door depositions could be released next week. California's fire insurance crisis. Why are companies dropping customers and charging more for less coverage? And we've got Steve Hartman on the road with a single dad who is raising kids by the dozen. Those stories and much more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And a cold weekend is on the way.
Yeah, some flurries and some drizzle moving on through, but nothing really heavy at this point. I was out in the backyard just a little while ago, and it was mainly flurries and a little drizzle mixed in. Temperatures are above freezing, still 36 in Madison, so we're not getting anything sticking to the ground. Visibility is dropping a little bit in a few places, so if you get a heavier flurry, you might run into that. Otherwise, cold weather through next week. Can't avoid it.
All right. Gary, thanks. We'll be back in 30 minutes. CBS Evening News is next.